Good morning, Card Meanies. RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. This card is from 2010. It is an insert in the Base Topps product called Chasing History. It highlighted a player who had achieved the milestone of breaking a long-held record from some other player. In this particular case, it is highlighting the fact that Mike Schmidt now holds the record for most years leading the league in home runs in the National League. Mike Schmidt, in his career, had eight home run titles. A lot of people don't think about Mike as a great home run hitter. He's got 500 home runs, 500 home runs in his career. No doubt he was a great home run hitter in that respect. But today's people think about Albert Pujols or Acuna in the modern era. I mean, people hitting 50, 60 home runs regularly. Aaron Judge, for example. You think of moon shots. Nobody thought of Mike hitting moon shots. He did hit a couple notable crushing home runs, but they just don't think of him in that manner. But what he did was dominate his era like few have done. To win 8 home run titles and to have that be the most in the history of the National League ever shows you that one player dominated his era. In the American League, the record is 12 by Babe Ruth. So you get a little sense of how difficult it is to consistently play above your peers in a category and dominate in that fashion. That's why one of the reasons I think Mike still holds a little bit of high esteem, because he did dominate his decades very well. The reason I'm showing off this card is because I forgot or didn't know there was a mini version out there. I was able to pick that up not too long ago. And this is a mini sized about the size of the 1975 Topps mini parallel set. Same exact card, other than its size. So just a little shout out, of course, to my favorite player and my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. A random baseball item of the day. I collect Mike Schmidt. I collect all things baseball, as you know. And I still have a lot of things in my collection that have got nothing to do with Phillies, nothing to do with Mike Schmidt. They're just really cool baseball items. And one of those is a really cool magazine called Beckett Baseball Monthly. Cover shot Michael Jordan. This is from April 1994. I picked this up myself on that day. This when I was really into card collecting back in the early 90s. And I've had this on my shelf ever since. Really cool picture of MJ trying to make the majors. He did not succeed. I don't think he ever got above the AA level, but that's no slight on Michael. I imagine he was a very good baseball player, more than likely better than me. But he was a good baseball player, but there's a lot of good baseball players in the universe who suffered the same fate as MJ did. They got to the minor league levels, the professional levels. Unfortunately, there were still a whole lot of great baseball players as well, and he could not eclipse them in that sport. He's number one in basketball, but just not number one in our hearts in baseball. Sorry, my MJ, but you did make a lot of sport covers in your brief period in the profession. So that's my random baseball item of the day, the Beckett magazine. Today's trivia question. Card up for grabs today is from this year, 2023. It is a Bowman insert, Bowman base product, but it is the Chrome Prospects set. Bowman Chrome Prospects, issued in the base set. This is not from Bowman Chrome, so to speak. It is a Blaze Jordan card. Blaze, I think he's still a hot prospect. I don't know. But that's the card up for grabs today. If you could tell me the answer to this trivia question. In the history of Major League Baseball, there have been a lot of no-hitters. Definitely over 100, if not over 200 by now. No-hitters thrown in the history of the game. However, very few have ever pitched 2 no-hitters in the same season. There have been a few players who have had at least two no-hitters in their career. A large number of pitchers have had two in their career, but very few have done it in the same season. So I will give you a couple of the names. There have been a total of five, six with a caveat, but I'll go through some of them. The first one to do it was Johnny Vandermeer. And what makes Johnny Vandermeer unique is he pitched his no-hitters back-to-back starts. That's one of the few things Johnny Vandermeer remains known as. The pitcher who did two no-hitters in consecutive starts, and he was known forever as Johnny No-Hit Vandermeer. It's hard to be a pretty good pitcher. He had a pretty good career and still be known for only one thing in your career, but that is the fate of Johnny Vandermeer. But he did have two in the same season back in 1938. Another one, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan pitched two in the same season with the Angels. They weren't back-to-back starts, but he had two. And more recently, Max Scherzer had two in 2015. So those are three of the five or six pitchers to do it. Number six, just as I'm thinking of them, number six would have been Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay threw a perfect game during the season in 2010. No-hit the Marlins when he was with the Phillies. Yay, Phillies. And in the playoffs that year, first round of the playoffs, we were, playing the Reds at home, and he threw a no-hitter. He was a walk shy of a perfect game again. Two perfect games in one season would have been, Roy Halladay's in the Hall of Fame. He would have been lauded forever if he had pitched two perfect games in the same season. But it was in the playoffs, so not sure it fits to my trivia question, so I wanted to give it and take him off the board. So my question is then, since there were five who did it in the same season, six if you include Roy Halladay, that leaves two more unaccounted for. Those two are not as well known as the ones I've already given you. So who are the other two pitchers to have pitched two no-hitters in the same season, and in what year did they each do it? So that is your trivia question. Send me an answer. Email it to me. I will include my email in the description below, along with the repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer, and we will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? So good luck to everybody on that. So today, I want to show off a little bit of an oddity I found. I hope there's other set collectors that can talk to me about this particular find that I'm shocked to have found. I want to get everybody else's opinion on it. All right, here we go. So this is a little baseball card box set from 1987 from a company called Boardwalk and Baseball. Now, I don't know who Boardwalk and Baseball is. I don't know what they do. Are they an amusement park dedicated to baseball? Is it like a shop somewhere? I don't know what it is. But it's a 33 card set featuring some of the greats of the game in 1987. Love that Mike Schmidt is the number one card. That's awesome. I do know that there's a parallel set or an error short print where the slash is missing between the B and B. I've got to find that. It's almost impossible to find, but I know they're out there. I saw one that was slabbed. I didn't want it slabbed, but it did. I'll track it down someday. But anyway, so it's a 33 card set, The Greats of Baseball from 1987. And it's got Mike Schmidt in it, but it's a box set, so you know me, collect box sets. So now, I always knew there was another Boardwalk and Baseball set. I'd heard about it, I'd seen it once in a while, but it's not as popular, it's not as prevalent as this set, all right? So I went on the Bay one day and just thought about looking. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm going through the tradingcarddatabase.com, and they got a listing for box sets every year. If you list by year, you'll see a subcategory called box sets, and they have all the box sets separated. So I go there every once in a while, find a set I don't have, go on the Bay and snag it. And I did that with that Boardwalk and Baseball. So here is the Boardwalk and Baseball. I'm assuming it's the same company. But I'm not certain of that. But Boardwalk Baseball. So anyway, so I decided to buy that, and I was like, very cool. So I opened it up, and let me show you what I found. I found this set. It's all-time record holders. All right, and this was in it. This was the set. 44 cards of your all-time greats, record setters. These are legends of the game right here, people. Huge names. Huge names. So, this is some not so huge, like Johnny Frederick. Nobody knows Johnny Frederick, but he has an all-time record. What is his all-time record? Pinch hit home runs from 1932. He had 6 pinch hit home runs in 1932. That gave him the record. So this is your set. Now, when I opened this set up, I absolutely lost my mind. I was like, what in the world did I just get? And I'll tell you why. I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to show you another set. So again, this is the Boardwalk and Baseball set from 1987. Here is the copyright date right there, 1987, Boardwalk and Baseball. This one also was released in 1987, but it's a different style. All right, so I just thought there were 2 different sets released by the same company. They're the same, Topps produced it for the same company. Here's a completely different set. This is Topps Limited Edition. This is the Woolworth. If you know your Woolworth department stores, they're a lot like Kmart back in the day. And this was their first foray, pairing with Topps to put a box set that they could put on the little gum counter and get kids to buy. This one came out in 1985. All right. It's a little box set. And when you open it, what you find is this. Look familiar? It is the exact same set. Now, I thought when I opened this sucker up, I thought, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Did some guy on eBay take these cards and throw it in this box that he found or something? What was going on? Because this is the set. This was from 1985. I looked on the back. The backs are exact. They're the exact same thing. I even looked at the copyright date then. This one is the 1985 set. This one is the 1987 set. And on the back, the copyright date remains 1985. They are the exact same cards. No difference, nothing. I went to the tradingcarddatabase.com. The tradingdatabase.com has these cards. This is the Woolworth set right here. If you look at the tradingcarddatabase.com, it's got pictures of the cards too. And these are the cards pictured under the Woolworth set from 1985. 1987 has no pictures. The Boardwalk and Baseball set is not pictured, not one of the cards. I really was freaking out. And then I went back to the box from the 1987 Boardwalk and Baseball. And if you look, it actually says 1987, but also 1985. The only thing I can deduce is that Topps, in 1987, when Boardwalk and Baseball came to them and said they wanted another set for their stores or whatever, rather than designing a new set like they do all the time, your Rite Aids, your Ames department stores, your KB, your Woolworths every year, all the little mini box sets that they came out, the card companies always come up with a quick and stupid design to change it up a little. They'll change up the collation of the players. They'll renumber things. They'll do their work to make something better. Instead of doing that, Topps took a previous card set, the exact same sheets, the exact same everything, cut them up, and stuffed it in a different box. The exact same set 2 years later. I'd never seen that in my life. So I'm asking card collectors out there, set collectors, experts in the hobby, have you ever seen a card company do the exact same set, not the next year, but 2 years later? I think there have been a couple where the sets released by a card company look pretty similar. but they weren't the exact same set. In other words, they would renumber or recollate. Even if they use the same design, they would still renumber, recollate, maybe use a different picture. And that was usually 1 year later. But to take the exact same cards, same printed sheets, cut them up, and use them again in a new product, I've never seen that. It boggles the mind. So I just wanted to share that little experience with you and ask anybody out there, have you ever seen or do you know of a set issued that was the exact same card set in boxes 2 years apart? Have you ever seen that? I would love to hear any stories similar to this from anybody out there in the great card community. But it was, again, such an oddity. I just really wanted to share it with everybody. So I hope you liked that little video there. If you did, please consider like, subscribing, commenting on my videos. I really appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? One more video on Friday for some more trivia and great prizes. Hope to see you there. Have a great week. Take care.